It's a little bit different per vehicle, per setup. So during this whole process, I'm gonna What's going on, everyone? So I wanted to do a video on e-tuning because I get asked pretty much the same questions on a daily, weekly basis. So I'd like to be able to point people to this video where they can watch it and better understand. So first and foremost, let's start with the basic. What is an e-tune? An e-tune is where you send me the info on your setup. I actually send you a list depending on what application you're running. Whether it be Hondata, whether it be Haltech, Holly. I support a lot of applications when it comes to e-tuning, and each list is a little bit different. So after you purchase the e-tune, I'm going to give you a quick rundown, and then we're going to go over some basic stuff. You purchase the e-tune. I send you the file, the paperwork to fill out. A lot of simple questions as well, nothing crazy. I need to know what size your injectors are, if you're running a stock map sensor, stuff like that. You send me that back, and then I send you a calibration file with specific instructions. And as I always state too in these emails, if you have questions before loading it on, ask me. Because that's one of the big things here too. I'm here to help you. You're paying me. Unlike some other tuners where they don't feel like it's their job, I feel like if you're spending your hard-earned money with me, I'm going to give you everything I can. So if you need help loading it on, if you need help with a data log, if your car starts acting weird because something is going on, let's say you have a faulty injector or you have a misfire on a cylinder because you have a bad coil, I'm going to also help you with that support on getting that thing running correctly and how you should diagnose it. I extend that to not only through email, I can also get on the phone and talk to you. So I want to make that really clear. I'm here for you. You're not going to just get well, that's not my problem, go deal with it elsewhere. One thing that I get asked a lot too is, well, can we start at any given time? What if I'm putting together the setup, but I want to pay you for the e-tune so I can have that file ready? We can start whenever. So if you purchase an e-tune and we start the process weeks later, months later, for whatever reason, you still get that support and you still get the product you paid for. There's no time limit of how long that lasts. So let's go into the other portion that kind of involves that. Going off of the other questions that I get. Well, how many revisions do I get? And what if I make little changes in the setup? Okay, so the first portion of that, how many revisions do you get? You get unlimited. Until I'm fully done tuning this car electronically, we can be into 4 or 5 revisions. We can be into 10, 12, maybe even 20 if you're having some kind of issue with the setup and we're trying to diagnose it as we go. So there's really no limit on revisions. Staying on that topic as well, what I also offer is if you are somewhat local. So let's say you're about an hour or 2 hours away and you wanted to start the e-tuning process, but ultimately you wanted a dyno tune. We can actually set up the e-tuning portion where you're paying for the dyno tune. We take care of all the e-tuning stuff. We get your car running 100% where you can actually drive it down here so you don't have to get a tow. You don't have to worry about that. Or you can drive it around your neighborhood. You can, data log some stuff to make sure everything is 100% before it comes to the dyno. That is something I offer. This is also nice because depending on your schedule, you might not be able to make it to the dyno for a couple more weeks, a month, but you still want to put those parts on your car. I'm here to help you with that. So we can do the whole e-tuning portion, and then you can ultimately, when you're ready, come down for the dyno tune, and you don't have to pay any more. As I said before, I'm here to try to help you as much as I possibly can. We'll add here too, just for peace of mind, as I already said, there's really no time limit or revisions of how long something can take. But I do get this question still asked. Well, what if we're doing something and let's say my transmission blows up? Some of you guys, specifically in the K-Series world, you know how fragile those transmissions can be. Well, then all you do is send me an email and say, hey, Bob, I blew the trans. I'm not going to be able to replace it. Could be a couple months. I'll get back to you. Perfectly fine. When you're ready, you come back, you shoot me an email, we start the process again. There's no other additional charges. I'm not punishing you because your transmission explodes. I'm not going to make you pay more. That would be ridiculous. And one last thing I will add. Since some of these cars are getting fairly old, 8, 10 years, some things should be replaced before we start this process. One big thing would be the spark plugs. If you've owned the car for 10 years, spark plugs have never been replaced, we want everything to be perfect before we start the process. The other thing that I see a lot of is the primary oxygen sensor. Your car could be 10 or 12 years old. In a sense, you might not have a check engine light for the primary oxygen sensor, but it might be working in a lazy fashion, or it's slowly ready to go out. What you have to remember is that during the e-tuning process, I can't be there specifically, so I can't inspect your setup. You're my eyes and ears when it comes to the e-tuning process. So you gotta make sure you're truthful. You gotta make sure you set up your vehicle 100% so we don't have something failing during the process. If we have a lazy or even a stuck O2 sensor, it could take a couple revisions to actually figure that out, and then we have to kind of start the whole process over depending on how bad that oxygen sensor is reading. And hopefully I covered everything, but of course if you got more questions, let me hear it. You can comment down below. What happens if I want to change gas during the wintertime because my car goes in storage? So prime example would be during the summer times, you're on E85, and the winter time, you want to put it on 93, you want to get all the E85 out of the system. What can I do to help you? Well, it's that simple. I don't charge any extra to create a separate tune for you to store your car in the winter for any gas that you want to be on. As I said before, and I really want to get the point across, I'm here to help you. I'm not here to nickel and dime you. I'm here to make your life easier. So now during this last segment, what I'm actually going to go through is show you actually what I'm looking for in a sense on my side, how a data log looks. And I have a couple emails here and there that I'm just going to go over some of the instructions that I sent to people and sometimes the stuff that I get back as far as questions go, just to give you a little bit more insight on the actual process. And then afterwards, if you're here for the Type R jailbreak little portion, that will be at the end of the video. I have an email in front of me. It's a 9th Gen Civic boosted that I was tuning. Now, let me say this. When it comes to revisions, I try to at least get one revision back to you a day within a 24-hour time period. Minus the weekends. If you do need me available on the weekends for whatever reason, talk to me. I can see what I can do. The weekends are usually family time though. Now, I will add on this setup, since it was turboed, he has certain instructions basically stating, not only do I need these logs from the start, which the very first simple logs are going to be, hey, I need a cold start, I need this thing idling, and take it just around the block on the streets, but don't beat on it. We have to crawl before we can walk, and we have to walk before we can run. So you're not going to get a first tune file from me that's going to say, hey, go take it on the road and do a wide open throttle pull. Not at all. My big thing too, as I said, you're my eyes and ears. I can't see certain things until I get a data log back from you. And one of the biggest things that we're trying to do here, or watch out for, is the safety of your setup. So keep that in mind. You're not going to get a revision, or a calibration file sent that's basically going to state, hey, just go romp on it, let's see what happens. We're going to crawl before we walk. Now, going into this email, originally he was only making 5 PSI. That's what he wanted to make. At the very end of the conversation, he said, hey, if I want to turn the boost up about 7 PSI, maybe 9, maybe 10, am I still going to be tuned for it? So my response was, yes, it should be fine, but let's crawl before we walk. Give me that data log. Let's see what's happening. Don't go just turn up the boost and just start romping on it. Let's make sure everything looks good. Now that little stuff that I'm doing, no charge to him. So here's what a data log looks like after you send it to me. Now, there's a bunch of stuff that might make no sense to you, and there's a bunch of different gauges and sensors in a sense that I'm looking at, and every setup's going to be a little bit different. One of the things too on this one is he was having 3 counts of knock. This one is important. I do keep the knock sensors enabled as much as I can, as long as outside noise is not interfering where we're getting a bunch of phantom knock. And that's a whole different story too on its own. So, and yes, with these 8th gen, 9th gen platforms, knock sensor still works, and in my opinion should be utilized to a point. As I'm stating though, everything, it's a little bit different per vehicle, per setup. So during this whole process, I'm gonna give you more information of what I'm doing so you're not left in the dark. And if you have any questions, let's just say you want to learn as well, that's what I'm here for. So there's a lot more you're getting when you pay for an eTune than just file transfers, email to email back. So I want you guys to fully understand that. And as I've been saying, I am here for you. I am here from starting to end. And then even when we're done, a couple weeks later, if you still got some questions or something pops up, you can always come back and ask me. I love helping people. That's the bottom line here. That's what I love to do. This is ultimately my relaxation and my therapy. So don't feel like a question may be stupid, or, it's a little question, you maybe get asked it a million times. That's what I'm here for. I'm here for you guys. So hopefully I covered everything in this video. Of course, if I did not, you can always email me, rcautoworks@gmail.com, or you can simply comment down below and I will try to cover it in future videos. I will add one more thing. We are a full-out shop here. So during our business hours, if you were to call, our office manager will speak to you. If you need to say, tell him, hey, can I get Bob on the phone really quick? Depending what I'm doing, I could possibly get on the phone or schedule a phone call back that day. Or if it's, hey, can Bob look at an email really quick? All depending what I'm doing during that time, I can hop off the project and maybe look at it. Sometimes I can't though. Sometimes depending on what I'm on, I can't hop off that easily. But once again, as I said, and I said it multiple times in this video, I'm here for you guys to help you out. So I wanted to make that clear as well. Now, on to the Type R portion. So I'm sitting in the vehicle. The first thing you want to do is you want to click on Flashpro. Once you click on the Flashpro icon up on top, right here, it is going to bring you to this box. And this is where you're going to register your Flashpro. And then you're going to lock it. So let me register this really quickly with all his information. So once you register, then you want to click online. And then you want to click Lock to Vehicle. At this point, you'll have another box that will pop up. It will have your VIN number that I'm covering up because I do not want his VIN number exposed. And then you click OK. So then on the upper bar where it says Flashpro, you will click, which will take you back to this box. And then you want to click Jailbreak. And it will show you the status of the ECU itself, which this one already is showing jailbroken. So if you do have to jailbreak your ECU, what you will want to do is not only will you want to register it, you will want to copy the VIN number. I can't stress this enough, just to copy it in and paste it. That way there's not a number or anything mixed up. Because once you purchase it and register the VIN number, if you enter it wrong, I don't think Hondata is gonna give you any money back, but I don't know. And then you click purchase the jailbreak and you enter your order number. So it's that simple as far as jailbreaking it goes. But once again, as I have said before, I know some people don't want to deal with this stuff, and they either don't have a laptop or they're scared in general, which is why I'm here. So contact me. I'll get you set up. So I got it strapped up, ready for the dyno tune, and this is where I'm going to transition into the e-tuning portion. One thing to keep in mind here, and I want to just, put this in your mind as well for you guys to think about. This customer was under the impression he needed a jailbreak portion. I was too, of course. I saved him roughly about 250, 300 bucks, give or take. Makes me super excited, was super happy to tell him that. Other shop owners, I've seen it before. When cars come here from customers that are unhappy from other shops, they either sell you something that you don't need, or somebody could have easily pocketed this money if this car went elsewhere. You know, this customer would have never known. You got to watch who you're dealing with. You know, some shop owners are just more about that greed, about the money in their pocket. You know, sadly, it is what it is. I've also seen cars that will come here, have stuff on them that the customer necessarily didn't need. So you got to keep that in mind too. I'm here to try to help you save money. As far as the e-tuning portion goes as well, I was on the phone this morning with a potential client. He's been to 2 other e-tuners now. He's having an issue. They both ghosted him. Can't get a hold of him. But I was on the phone with him this morning talking about his issue that he was having. And, you know, I don't normally, I can't be on the phone all the time as I stated before, or else I couldn't do my job. Just watch who you guys are giving your hard-earned money to. You know, do some research. I've been doing this now for 24 years. Our reviews speak for themselves. I'll post that link down below. You can take a read. If you're local, give us a call. Come on in. Schedule a meeting to meet us. We're here for you. We're here for you no matter what, even when your car leaves, or if you're e-tuning and weeks later something happens after completion, I'm still going to be here for you.